Friends, welcome to our today's session. As you know, the topic, in today's topic, we'll be talking three things. One is aggregation of income. Second is setup and carry forward of losses. And before that, you must be knowing, or we have already discussed in our initial classes. What we've discussed, it is the total income of the assessee for a particular previous year, which is liable to tax. Is it done? So we need to compute what is total income, and total income means total income of a particular previous year. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That means for a period only we will be computing our income. Okay, we'll be computing income, and on that we'll be computing what is the tax liability. But sometimes what happens, if a particular period there is a loss, there is a possibility it can be carried forward to the next period. Okay, right? Suppose
Yes,
one
sir.
period there is a loss, it can be carried forward to the next period. That possibility is there. Okay, and when you talk about carry forward means carry forward of loss or negative income.
Okay, sir.
This is one thing you have to keep in mind. Now, one more thing you have to also understand, that what is taxable. In our earlier classes, we have understood what is taxable is the total income. We call it the total income or total taxable income. And total income consists of how many heads? How many heads are there?
Five.
Five
Five heads
heads.
of income.
Five heads. Now we have understood that when we talk about total income, it has got five parts. Okay, and this total income means total income for a particular previous year only. For a particular previous year, we have to compute. But as I told you, sometimes it may be carried forward. It may be carried forward for a future year. Okay. Now these five heads, please tell me what are these five heads?
Salaries, income from house property,
Salaries,
from capital
income from
gains,
house property, capital gain. It's not income from capital gain; it's only capital gain. Then
PGBP,
PGBP,
PGBP, okay,
and
PGBP. I should have
income
taken
from other
before that.
sources.
Income from house property. Then let me take PGBP. Then capital gain, the income from other sources. Okay, these are the five heads, all of you. Okay, this is what called the heads. When these are the heads, there might be many sources. Many sources means, is there possible that one may receive salary from more than one sources? Possible or not? Is it possible that one can get salary from more than one sources? That means from company A he can receive salary, from company B he can also receive salary. Is it possible or not?
Yes, sir. It is
Yes,
possible.
sir, possible.
It is possible. In many ways, it is possible. Many situations we can think of. Let us say someone has retired from one company and he is receiving pension. He is retired from one employer, he is receiving pension. Pension is taxable under salary. And now he is working in another company. He is getting salary. So pension plus his regular salary. Both are salary. Okay. Or
Yes,
it's
sir.
also possible one can get employment in two companies. Maybe day shift in one company, night shift in another company. A regular basis is getting for two employers. That's also possible. It's also possible period wise. Let us say 8 months he worked for one employer, another 4 months he worked for another employer. So in a particular year, he is getting salary from more than one employer. So like this, there are very good possibilities of getting income, getting salary income from different sources. So they are called as sources, various sources. Salary 1, salary 2, salary 3, salary 4. One can receive 4, 5 salaries. Okay. Okay. So these are called as the sources. These are called as various sources. So there is a possibility that loss from one source can be adjusted again profit of another source. But under salary income, you have already studied the chapter salary. Is there any possibility of loss? Can you think of? Is there any possibility of a loss under the head salary? Salary, you know, it is taxable on due basis and receipt basis, whichever is higher. That is your tax liability. But is there any possibility of a loss? And what are the deduction under the head salary? You know, section 16. Is it not? Standard deduction, then professional tax and entertainment allowance.
Entertainment.
Yeah, three things are there. Is there any possibility of a loss? Yes or no? Can you think of?
No, sir.
No,
No, sir.
no. Normally, no. Because standard deduction is allowed up to 50,000 or what your amount of salary, whichever is less. Normally, no. There is be hardly any situation where standard deduction, where deductions will be more than the income. Okay. Where that is possible, one thing we can think of just now, let us say, if professional tax is more than salary, professional tax is normally it is around 2,500 to 3,000, varies from state to state. If someone's salary is less than that and he has to pay professional tax, there is a possibility that there can be loss of the salary. Okay, but normally salary income you will have any, you will cannot have any loss, so always there will be profit. So there is no need to set up or carry forward this income. Okay, now coming to income from house property. Income from house property, whether there can be any loss,
Yes, sir.
there can be loss.
Yes, sir.
And you know, if
Yes,
it is self-occupied house property, if it is self-occupied house property, then amount of loss can be maximum up to
2
how much?
lakh.
2 lakh.
2 lakh.
And if it is not a self-occupied house property, it's a let-out house property, loss can be of any amount. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
PGBP
Yes,
also,
sir.
there is no limit. And you know, house property also, there can be multiple sources. There can be house 1, there can be house 2, house 3, house 4. One can have multiple houses. This is one head.
Yes, sir.
There can be multiple sources. Okay. It is also possible to make some inter-source adjustment. That means one house property there is a profit, another house property there is a loss that can be adjusted. That is what we call it the inter-source adjustment. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Now,
sir. Yes, sir.
okay. Third thing is that PGBP. Is there any possibility of loss?
Yes, sir.
Is there any limit? Is there any limit to that, or there is no limit? It can be any amount.
It can be any amount.
It can be any amount. It can be any amount. Okay. But is there any possibility of more than one sources of PGBP?
Sir, can you repeat?
Whether it is possible that one can have more than one source of business.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One can have
Yes, we can
multiple
do
business. One can do 20
Yes, sir.
businesses. No restriction. There can be multiple sources. When multiple sources are there, there is also possibility of inter-source adjustment, subject to some restrictions. We'll be learning that. Subject to some specific type of business, like speculative business, etc., etc. Otherwise, it is possible. One source income can be adjusted against another source. Another losses. The capital gain also same thing. One can have multiple sources, and there is also no limit. Loss under the head capital gain can go up to any amount, right? And income from other sources also same thing. There can be loss up to any amount, and one can have multiple sources also. Okay. Now I think you got some clear idea that what is total income's composition and what are the heads and what are the sources. If it is clear, then it will be easier for us to understand what is inter-source adjustment and what is inter-head adjustment. Inter-head means adjustment, a loss of one head will be adjusted with another head of income. One head there is a loss, another head there is a profit, that can be adjusted, that is inter-head. Inter-source means within the head there might be two houses. One house loss will be adjusted against another house profit. Understood what is inter-head and inter-source?
Yes, sir.
And
Sir,
finally,
sir, this professional tax, so this is compulsory to all the professionals.
not professional, it is usually it is state government tax. It varies from
Sir,
state.
what is this actually? What is this
But it varies from state to state. Various state governments has passed their own laws regarding that. Okay, so It may be up to certain income, it is different. It is a tax which is paid by the employees, not necessarily professional. It is called as professional tax. So what it is exactly, suppose you want to understand what is professional tax, you go to the commercial tax department website of your state. You can download it. It's a very small app. Most of the states have a similar app. You can just have a look at this. There is a tariff chart. It shows that if this is your salary income, then this will be the per month tax. Like this. Okay. It's a tax on employment. You can check it in tax on employment. And since it is
This is only for employee.
yeah, it's only for employees.
Okay, sir.
It's only for employees. Okay. And since it varies from state to state, so one need to refer to it actually. Okay, straightway I cannot say. All the states have their different laws. Okay. So what I told you that if that situation
Yes,
comes,
sir.
let us say professional tax is 2,500, but employees annual salary is 1,000. 1,000 he will earn, but because professional tax is a flat rate. Okay. At
Yes,
flat
sir.
rate, of course, it is linked to the salary. But in case that situation is there, there is a possibility of loss on that salary.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, there cannot be any loss. Okay. If
Okay,
some
sir.
state government has fixed the professional tax of 2,000 rupees per annum, but the person's annual salary is less than that. In case that happens, then there will be a possibility of loss. Otherwise, salary head, that cannot be any loss. So that is the only exception I only told you. It is a totally hypothetical situation, imaginary situation. Okay. Okay, got it? Now, let us enter into the topic. First, we'll see the concept of aggregation. There are few concepts we need to learn in this context. One by one, we'll be learning. I'm sharing the screen now. Yeah. So three things, as I told you, aggregation of income concept we'll be learning. Then set off and carry forward of losses. All the three things we'll be learning here. This chart I will be explaining you later on. First, let me explain you the concept of aggregation. What is that concept of aggregation of income means? This is in fact something called as the deemed income. Meaning, in certain situations, some amounts shall be deemed as income in the hands of the assessor. Even if actually that may not be income, but law says that things will be, those receipts will be deemed to be an income. And if it is deemed to the income, it will be aggregated with the total income. Okay, once it will be aggregated with the total income, tax will be payable on that. Understood the concept?
Yes, sir.
Aggregation means deemed income. Now, what are these cases? What are these situations? So these are the sections which deals with that. Okay, 68 and 69 and additional sections 69A, 69B, 69C, 69D. If you read these sections, you'll understand. In this situation, even if a particular receipt is not an income, still it will be regarded as the income. 68 section deals with unexplained cash credit. I'll be showing you that sections. Or I'll do one thing. I'll take you to the income tax department website. I'll show you there. Now just have a look. 68 is unexplained cash credit. What is 69? Please read it out.
Unexplained investment.
Unexplained investment. 69A.
Unexplained money.
69B.
Amount of investment, etc. not fully disclosed in books of account.
In the books of accounts, certain amount investments are not fully disclosed. Then 69C.
Unexplained expenditure.
Unexplained expenditure. 69D.
Amount borrowed or repaid on
Paid
fundi.
on hundi. Hundi means it is something like through handbill. Maybe you can say through some oral contract or informal written contract you are receiving something. Otherwise than through banking channel, not through account pay checks, not through account pay drafts, etc. But you are receiving something handbill. It is an, you can say, informal negotiable instrument. So that amount also, if some receipts are there like this, suppose some amount is credited in your account, but you have no explanation where from it has come, you don't know. You have made some investment, but you are unable to explain where you have invested, what is the source of that. You have some money, it is found that you are possessing some money, but you are unable to explain the source. Okay, or certain investments are there, but not disclosed in books of account. Certain expenditures are there, you are again unable to explain. Something you have borrowed and something you have something you have repaid, okay, through hand bill, otherwise than account pay, checks, drafts, etc. Then all these things shall be deemed to the income. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll show you these sections. If you want to learn these sections in detail, I will take you to the income tax department's website. Just give me a moment. So which are the sections have you remembered? Have you remembered the sections or not?
Yes, sir.
68 and 69
69.
series, right? So let me, you see, this is the income tax department website. I had already shown you earlier how to see it. Go to www.incometaxindia.gov.in. There will be a link, acts. There will be a link for acts. Click there, acts. You can find out income tax act. You click there. If you want to a particular section, then you can go for section 68. Let us say you are looking for, you can go to section 68. You can find out what is this. You see, this is section 68. It talks about cash credit. If you read this section, are you able to see it?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, you see, any sum found credited in the assessor's books of account for which no explanation is there, that is called as unexplained cash credit, and that will be aggregated in the assessor's total income. That is the, in essence, that is what section 68 says. Okay, I'll be showing you 69s also. Just have a look at this 69, 69A, etc. I'm going to show you. If I take you to the 69 section, you see 69 talks about unexplained investment, 69A unexplained money, etc. 69B amounts of investment not fully disclosed in books of account. 69C unexplained expenditure. 69D amount borrowed or repaid from company. If you want to learn in detail, then you can visit here and you can read it. Okay, but concept I already told you. Right? Is it clear to you? All these incomes will be aggregated. That means even if it is not the income of the assessee, it will be added to the assessee's total income. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in detail, if you want, you can refer. You can go to that place and you can read it. Now, and as you know, assessing officer may require the assessee to furnish explanation. Okay, if this is the kind of situation, if there is some cash credit which is not explained, there is an investment which is not explained, assessing officer may ask for explanation. And if he's satisfied, then fine. If it's not satisfied, then it may be added. If the assessee doesn't offer any explanation, or explanation offered by the assessee is not satisfactory, all these amounts shall be deemed to the income of the assessee. Such amounts have to be aggregated with the assessee's income. This concept is called as aggregation of income. 6 sections are there under this head, under this concept. Understood? I repeat: cash credits, unexplained investment, unexplained money, then investments not fully disclosed in books of account, unexplained expenditure, then amount borrowed or repaid unknowingly. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I request some of you who are not participating in discussion, please mute yourselves. I'm getting some background noise. Please mute yourself. Whenever you are participating, you may unmute. Otherwise, please keep yourself muted.
Bhagyasri, your mic is not in.
Okay. Now, aggregation of income is over. Now, next concept which we are going to learn is a concept of set off and carry forward of losses. Okay, first we'll see what is set off process. And here you see there are 3 steps are involved. One, you know what is called as, can you read it here?
Inter-source adjustment.
Inter-source adjustment.
Inter-source adjustment. So I think now we have understood what is the meaning of source. When you're talking about the inter-source adjustment, I'm talking about definitely it is within a source. Sorry, within a head. Within a head, different sources are there, and we are trying to adjust them. Okay, that is called inter-source adjustment. Okay, understood? Next is inter-head adjustment. Okay, inter-head adjustment is dealt with section 71. Inter-head means within total income, several heads are there, but there might be loss under one head that can be set up again, profit of another head. That is called as inter-head adjustment. Okay, first inter-source adjustment has to be made, then inter-head adjustment has to be made. Then still if there is some loss which is eligible to be carried forward, that can be carried forward too. Okay. Yes, friends. Now, carry forward means if there is a loss in a particular assessment year, it can be carried forward to the next assessment year. So these are the three steps. So first we'll see section 70 part, that is what is the inter-source adjustment. Then we'll move to inter-head adjustment. Now, this is the concept of setup of losses. There are specific provisions which are there under Income Tax Act. When you talk about setup means adjustment of losses against the profits of another source or head. Setup is something like, you see, sometimes what happens when you write your examination in your group wise, if in a particular paper you are having more than 50 and some paper you are getting less than 50, it gets adjusted or not? In a particular attempt, it gets adjusted. Is it not? So you can say that concept is the setup. One paper there is a loss, another paper there is a profit, that can be set up. But sometimes it is also carried forward. If you got certain exemptions, it gets carried forward or not?
Yes, sir.
So subject to conditions, certain conditions. If the conditions are met, it can be carried forward. Carried forward means it is taken to the next assessment year, or for you it's the next attempt. But there is a limit for carry forward. Okay, it is not indefinitely, it can be carried forward. Here also provisions are like this. First setup will be made. Setup may be inter-source setup or maybe inter-head setup. Right, setup means adjustment of losses against the profits of another source or head. But it is in the same assessment year. Okay, it is in the same assessment year. Same assessment year, if you are adjusting, then that is called as setup. Okay, then what is carried forward?
Yes.
If it cannot be set up in the same year, why it cannot be set up? Maybe in other sources profit may not be adequate, or other heads profit may not be adequate. So, or maybe this is a kind of loss which can be set off subject to certain conditions, and this year it's not possible to set it up. So if losses cannot be set up in the same year due to inadequacy of eligible profit, then it can be carried forward to the next assessment year. This is the concept of carry forward. Next assessment year for adjustment against the eligible profit of that year. And there is a maximum period for which it can be carried forward. Sometimes it is 8 years, sometimes it is 4 years, we will be learning it. In different situations, different periods are there. Okay, there is a maximum period for which this type of losses can be carried. Understood what is the difference between setup and carry forward? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, having understood that, now we'll come to this part. But this is the concept of inter-source adjustment. First, we'll see the inter-source adjustment or inter-source. It is setup or carry forward. What we can call this adjustment?
Setup.
Setup.
Setup. Okay. So this is provided under section 70. First, let us see. Under this section, the losses incurred by the assessee in respect of one source can be set off against the income of other source under the same head of income. Head of income is same. But under one source there is a loss, another source there is a profit, then they can be set up. Okay. How we compute income? We aggregate all the sources. Okay. We compute income under different heads. Then we aggregate all the heads. We find out total income. We find out gross total income, then make certain deductions and adjustments. We get total income. Is it not? These are the steps we do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when we are aggregating the income under a particular head, within a particular head, there are multiple sources, and we are aggregating the income. One source there might be loss, another source there might be profit. Suppose you got a garment business and the loss of 5 lakh rupees, okay, and you got a steel business which is a loss of 50, which is a profit of 50 lakh rupees. So from 50 lakh, this 5 lakh will be adjusted, and your profit under the head business and profession will be 45 lakh. That's the concept.
Yes, sir.
So loss from one source of income can be adjusted against income from other sources. Okay, can be adjusted against income from another sources within the same head, under the same head. That is called as inter-source adjustment. Okay, this is called as inter-source adjustment. Okay, I can give you two examples. Example one, suppose someone is having two house property. One house property there is a loss, another house property there is a profit. So that can be set up. Or someone may having two businesses or more than one business. One business there is a loss, other businesses that is profits. That also can be set up. And this concept will be referred to as inter-source setup. Okay, when it is appearing very simple, inter-source setup, but there are certain exceptions to that. Exceptions means there are certain situations where these kind of setups are not admissible. We refer to them as impermissible or inadmissible inter-source setup. Inter-source setup are not permissible in certain situations. Okay, you have understood already what is inter-source setup?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there will be learning 4 exceptions to that. And in 4 cases, it will be inadmissible. First is, you see, can you read it? A, what is this?
Long-term capital
Long-term
loss.
capital
Long-term
loss,
capital loss. This is one exception. Second exception, read it here.
speculation losses,
Speculation loss. Third one, read it here.
Loss from the activity of
activity of
owning and
owning and maintaining
maintaining
race
horses.
Resources. And fourth one,
specified business, loss from specified business.
that's it. These are the 4 exceptions we will see where this inter-source setup is not permissible. First, let us see long-term capital loss. Friends, please remember, you have already, you are in the process of learning capital gain chapter. You already know the concept of capital asset. You already know what is long-term capital, long-term capital gain, what is short-term capital gain. You concepts are already known to you. So you'll be able to segregate what is long-term capital asset, short-term capital asset, and consequently long-term capital gain, short-term capital gain. You already know that thing. So now please understand that short-term capital loss is allowed to be set up both against short-term as well as long-term capital gain. I repeat, if there is a short-term capital loss, it can be adjusted against both. That means against short-term capital gain as well as long-term capital gain. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But only long term is only set off against long-term
But
capital gain.
long-term capital loss can be set up only against long-term capital gain, meaning not against short-term capital gain. Short can be adjusted both against long and short, but long-term loss cannot be set up against short-term capital gain. It can be set up only against long-term capital gain. Understood?
Yes, sir.
This concept you have to keep in mind. You have to remember this concept. So far as capital gains inter-head setup is concerned, inter-source setup is concerned. Okay, there might be different sources of capital gain. We'll find out what is short term, what is long term. Okay, if it is short term, no issue. We'll adjust it. If it's a long term, then we have to find out a source which is also long term. Then only it can be set up.
So can you give me an example of long-term capital loss?
Can I give you an example of long-term capital loss? Okay. You see, friends, what is long-term capital
Yes, sir.
asset? First of you tell me. Suppose you see someone is holding a land for 10 years. It's a long-term capital asset or short-term capital asset. Freehold land, someone is holding for 10 years.
Long
This is a long-term capital loss.
Long-term capital asset. Okay. Let us say index value of that property, long-term capital asset, is let us say 5 lakh rupees. And he is selling it at 4 lakh rupees. So it is a long-term capital loss or short-term capital loss?
Long-term capital loss.
long.
It's a long-term capital loss. Okay. If it is a long-term capital loss, it cannot be set up against a short-term capital profit. You might be having a short-term capital profit. Okay, certain capital asset you might have sold, which you are holding, let us say, less than 36 months. So there might be a profit, but you cannot adjust this long-term capital gain against that profit.
Okay,
If there is
sir.
some other long-term capital profit, then okay, you can adjust this loss. Otherwise, it is not possible. You cannot set up. But you can carry forward. Okay, carry forward provisions will be learning separately. You can, but you cannot set up with another short-term sources. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Okay, sir.
second situation is that speculation business. A loss in speculation business can be set off only against the profit of another speculation business, but not against any other business or professional income. So there might be a speculative business, there might be non-speculative business. Okay. If there is some loss under speculation business, it can be set up only against speculation business. It cannot be set up against normal business. But other way around, it's possible. That means loss from other business can be adjusted against speculation business. Okay. So what we'll do, we can segregate the sources of business to categories. What are the speculative business and non-speculative business? If there is a loss for non-speculative business, it can be set up against anything, set up against the profit of speculative business as well as non-speculative business. But in case there is a loss in a speculation business,
Loss.
it cannot be set up against other business income or other professional income. Is it clear? So this is the second exception I told you. So 73 I told you, then 73(1). Third, loss from the activity of owning and maintaining racehorses. If there is a business, then business deals with owning racehorses or maintaining of racehorses. Such loss can be set up only against income from the activity of owning and maintaining racehorses. That means only from similar kind of activity it can be set up. It cannot be set up with your other normal business income. Is it clear? If someone is
Sir,
doing
please repeat again.
okay, if there is someone is doing the business of owning and maintaining racehorses, his business is to own racehorses and maintain those racehorses, and there is a loss in the same business, then it can be set up only if he is having a similar business, it's similar other kind of business he is having. That is the business of similar business of owning and maintaining resources. Then only it can be set up against that profit. But he is having some other business, it cannot be set up.
Okay, sir.
Understood? Let us say you are a person who is owning and maintaining resources. You have two businesses. Business A is owning, maintaining resources. Business B is also about owning and maintaining resources. Then if you are having some loss in business A, you can set up against the profit of business B. But business A is about owning and maintaining resources. Okay. And business B is conducting, let us say, races, not owning and maintaining resources. Let us say conducting, or let us say horse races. then there are two different businesses.
Yes,
So
sir.
loss under one head cannot be set up against profit of other head. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, three exceptions I told you: impermissible inter-source setup. Fourth one is loss from specified businesses. Specified businesses means you must have studied under section 35 AD when you have studied the profit and gains of business and profits. So there are certain businesses where specific deductions are available. They are covered under section 35 AD. If you recall, a series of businesses are there. Maybe infrastructure business, businesses are providing cold chain, like this. So many activities are there. Have you remembered section 35 AD? Yes or no?
No, sir.
No. Okay.
I think
Uh,
warehouse for agriculture something.
sorry. So not a big thing. So I can take you to the income tax department website. So if you want to learn that thing, are you seeing it? So we can refer to section 35 AD. Anytime, any doubt you are having,
AD.
you can go there. So 35 AD is some specific businesses. We call it the specified businesses. Okay. Now let us see. You see 35 AD. What it says? Can you read it?
Deductions in respect of expenditure of specified business.
Yes. Deduction is a specified business. This is 35 AD. It says assessee shall get deduction for certain capital expenditure. We will see certain businesses which are covered here. There will be many businesses you see. You see, here is a business in the nature of building and operating new hospital with at least 100 beds, if you're doing this kind of business, or building and operating new hotels, 2-star or above category. Okay, so these are certain businesses. These are specified businesses. And there are certain conditions also. You see, business in the nature of beekeeping and production of honey and bee wax, operating a warehousing facility for storage of sugar, like this. Some businesses are listed here. And if you're doing this kind of businesses, your capital expenditures are allowed as a deduction. Got it? So if these kind of businesses, how it will be dealt with, or loss from this kind of business cannot be set off against profits of some other businesses. So this particular section says, section 73A, subsection 1 says, a loss in any specified business referred to in section 35 AD can be set up only against other specified business. That means a 35 AD business loss can be set up against only 35 AD business profit. However, but reverse is possible. That means loss from other business can be set up against the profits of specified business. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. A specified business's loss cannot be set up against non-specified business loss. But a non-specified business loss can be set up against specified businesses profit.
Sir.
Okay. So this is something just like a speculation business. Specified business will be dealt like this. So these are in fact 4 exceptions we have learned. Okay. Long-term capital loss. You know what is the provision? Speculation business. Loss from activity of owning and maintaining racehorses. The losses from specified businesses. You have to keep that thing in the mind. And here, one more point we'll remember that you must keep a note of this. The loss from an exempted source cannot be set off against the profit from a taxable source of it. If there is some exempted income source and by chance there is a loss under that source, that loss cannot be set up against a taxable source. For example, you may be knowing that the profit or the share of income from a partnership firm is exempt. Okay, share of income of a partnership firm is exempt under section 10(2)(a). Right. So the share of loss from partnership firm cannot be set up against business income because the share of loss is from a source which is exempt, and the loss from an exempted source cannot be taxed and so cannot be set up against profit of taxable source.
Okay, sir.
Are you getting me? So this is one
Yes,
additional
sir.
note you have to keep in mind. If one source profit is exempt, then you cannot set up loss from that source against profit of a taxable source. Okay.
There is one more thing called casual income, which is cannot be set off against any other thing, like income from lottery, no loss from lottery, puzzles.
Loss in the lottery. Okay, we'll talk to that. We'll talk about that.
So in this case, the reverse is not possible.
Reverse is not possible means in this case, this I'm talking about these partnership firms.
Yes, sir.
Which case? I
Means,
couldn't.
a loss from a taxable source, can it be set off against a profit from an exempt source?
No, profit from exempt source is always exempt. Then what you are going to set up against that? It is exempt, no. You are not paying tax on that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, exempt means it is exempt. Okay, you cannot set up against set up anything against that. Okay. Now, next concept we are going to learn is about interhead adjustments. This is about sex, and here we are entering into this new section, section 71. Intersource you already know. Now we are learning interhead adjustment. There are also certain exceptions are there. So let us quickly cover this thing. Interhead adjustments. Here the concept is loss under one head of income can be adjusted or set up against income under another head. That means if one head there is a loss, it can be set up against income from another head. Meaning if there is a loss under the head house property, that can be set up against the profit of business. But there are certain conditions that we have to see. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when I told this general principle that loss under one head can be set up or can be adjusted against income from other head, there are 5 situations which you have to keep in mind. First one is that loss under any head other than capital gain. Here we have to see that where the net result of computation under any head of income is a loss, the assessee can set up such loss against the income assessable for that year under any other head, including capital gain. Did you understand this thing?
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir.
Just a
No,
minute.
sir.
Just a minute. I think screen share has been stopped for some reason. You are able to see the screen now?
No, sir. Yes, sir. Now it's visible.
Yes,
You are able to see the screen. Okay. Oh, first concept you see, or first point you have to keep. First, this is the first concept where the net result of computation under any head of income. Any head of income means maybe it is profit and it is income from house property, income from business. But here we will ignoring capital gains. Except capital gain. Capital gain has got certain separate provisions. We'll be learning that. Okay, the net result is a loss under any head other than capital gains. The assessee can set up such loss against his income assessable for that assessment year under any other head, including capital gain. Try to understand. That means a non-capital gain loss can be set up against capital gains.
Yes, sir.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
Again, I repeat. When there is a loss of any head of income other than capital gain, that means I am talking about non-capital gain loss. It can be set off against the income accessible for that assessment year under any other head, including capital gain. Okay, that means if there is some house property loss, that can be set up against salaries. If there is a loss under that income from business profession, it can be set up against income from other sources. Because these are non-capital gain loss, and we are setting up against anything including capital gain. Okay, right. And if there is some business loss, that also can be set off against income from house property and as well against capital gains. Because capital gain, it can be set up against capital gain also. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, one more concept you have to understand. Loss under the head profit and gains of business and profession. In that context, we have to see where the net result of computation under the head profit and gains of business profession is a loss. Business loss cannot be set up against salaries. Okay, an example just now I was giving, house property loss can be set up against salary. But business loss, whether it can be set up against salary? Yes or no?
No.
No, sir.
No. You have to
No,
remember
sir.
that business loss cannot be set up against salaries. House property loss can be set. So first point I told you that non-capital gain loss can be set off against any head, including capital gain. Second concept I am telling you that PGBP loss cannot be set off against what?
Salary.
Salaries. This concept you have to remember. Right. Now, next concept is that. So you have to remember
सर
this.
कैपिटल लॉस फ्रॉम कैपिटल गेन कोई भी हेड्स में एडजस्ट हो सकता है
हो सकता है कैपिटल गेन के अगेंस्ट में हो सकता है. We'll be learning that thing. Step by step we are proceeding. Okay, please wait. Step by step we are proceeding. Okay. Now, so these are in fact 2 points you have learned. The next concept this should be actually point number 3. This should be point number 3. Just a minute. And this one should be point number 4. 4 concept you have to see. What is the third concept? Loss under the head income from house property. You know already. Where the net result of computation under the head income of house property is a loss. Assessee has income accessible under any other head of income. The amount of loss exceeding 2 lakh rupees would not be allowed to be set off against the income of other heads of income. This concept earlier also we had discussed when we were learning income from house property. That in case of self-occupied house property, the maximum amount of loss will be how much?
2 lakhs.
2 lakh. Then no issue. You can set up it. Inter source, inter head, you can set up. But in case of let out property, the maximum loss can be any amount.
Yes, sir.
It can be more than 2 lakh. But
Yes, sir.
but this provision, section 71's provision, what it says, that loss from house property can be set up against other head, but of maximum 2 lakh rupees. Meaning the maximum loss under the head house property which can be set up against income from other head is only for 2 lakh rupees. And the amount which is could not be set up can be carried forward. It can be carried forward for 8 assessment years. That's a different story. But now we are learning that it can be set up only against other heads of income, maximum to the extent of 2 lakh rupees. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, next, we are talking about inter-head adjustment. Remember. Next is speculation loss and loss from activity of owning and maintaining resources and losses of specified business which are referred to under section 35A(d). These losses cannot be set off against income under any other head. That means it can be set off only against that business income. It cannot be set off against any other head. If there is some loss from speculation or owning, maintaining resources or from specified businesses, you cannot adjust it against salary, against house property, against income from other sources, against capital gain. You cannot adjust that. So these are the four things, four exceptions we learned so far. Let me quickly repeat it for you. So what is the first one? Loss under the head capital gain. It can be set up against other heads, including a loss under first point is that a loss under any head other than capital gain. It can be set up against any head, including capital gain. Second is a loss from the profits of against a business and profession. Yes, friends, we are disconnected for a moment. Once again, I am sharing the screen with you. Yeah, we'll again discuss these points. Having covered inter-source adjustment, we are moving towards inter-head adjustment. And you know, loss under one head can be adjusted against income from some other head. But you have to keep these 4 points in mind. First of all, if there is any loss under any head other than capital gain, that loss definitely can be set off against profits of any head, including capital gains. That is concept 1. Concept 2 is that business loss cannot be set off against salaries. Okay. Third concept is that house property loss can be set off against income of all other heads, but maximum to the amount of 2 lakh rupees. Fourth concept is that speculation loss and the loss from activity of owning and maintaining resources and losses of specified business, they cannot be set off against income from any other head. These 4 points you have to keep in mind. Okay, having understood that, now here is a small assignment, small question for you. Please try to solve it. Please read this question. Some of you please read this question. We'll be solving it very quickly.
Mr. A, aged 35 years, submits the following particulars pertaining to the assessment year 2021 to 22.
Yeah. Now please read it out.
Income from salary 4 lakhs, loss from self-occupied property negative 70,000, loss from let out property 1,50,000, business loss 1 lakh, bank interest received 80,000. Compute the total income of Mr. A for the assessment year 2021 to 22.
You understood that question? You see, salary is 1/8, income is 4 lakh rupees. Then self-occupied house property, what is the income?
Negative 70,000. There is a
70,000 loss. Then let out house property, what is the loss?
1,50,000 loss.
1,50,000. So if you take the income from house property head, what is the income or loss under that head?
Loss of 2,20,000.
2,20,000 loss under the head income from house property, right? And under salary head, there is an income of 4 lakh rupees. And what is business loss? BGBP
1 lakh.
1 lakh. And the last one, that is under which head? Bank interest. That falls under which head of income?
Other sources.
Income from other sources. So these are the heads of income we are having. Now we have to compute his total income for the assessment year 21-22. Okay, can you compute? Salary income is there. House property income is there. Do you know to what extent the house property income can be set up against salary? How much of house property income can be set up
2
against?
lakhs.
2 lakh. So even if
2 lakh.
loss is 2,20,000, so maximum 2 lakh can be set up. Okay, now there is a business loss. Whether business loss can be set up against salary?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
But whether business loss can be set up against income from other sources?
Sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So business loss is 1 lakh rupees and income from other sources is 80,000 rupees.
80,000.
So they can be set up. Okay,
Yes, sir.
right. Now, let us solve this question now. You can have a look at this. You see, income from salary is 4 lakh rupees. House property income, even if it is 2,20,000 rupees, maximum 2 lakh can be set up. So if we set up this 2 lakh against this 4 lakh income, so my net taxable amount will be how much? 2 lakh.
2 lakhs. Yes, sir.
Will be 2 lakh rupees. Okay. Next, the remaining 20,000 rupees can be carried forward. The carry forward concept will be learning in our subsequent class. It can be carried forward. Right. Now, coming to next head of income, income from other sources is 80,000 rupees. But however, there is a business loss of 1 lakh rupees. So in 80,000 rupees, maximum 80,000 rupees can be adjusted. So income from other sources will be nil. But the remaining 20,000 rupees, what is this 20,000 rupees? 1 lakh loss and 80,000 profit. This 20,000 rupees can be carried forward. So here there is a business loss carry forward of 20,000 rupees. And there is a house property loss of 20,000 rupees. Both the things can be carried forward. So this person's gross total income will be 2 lakh rupees salary. And there is no deduction given in the question. So total income is 2 lakh. Understood this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here you have to see out of the salary income, out of the house property loss, only 2 lakh rupees could be set up. 20,000 rupees has been carried forward. Similarly, out of business loss of 1 lakh rupees, only 80,000 rupees could be set off, and the remaining 20,000 rupees has been carried forward. So this is the concept of inter-head setup. So inter-head setup and inter-source setup is over for us. Now, next topic is about carry forward of losses, which we'll be learning in our next class. Any query you have so far? Whatever you have learned, you got any query, then please let me know.
No, sir.
Then thank you very, very much. We'll catch up in some other session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,